I went to this local micro brew pub recently. I'd been kind of curious about it. I'm not much of a beer drinker, but a long time ago, me and a friend of mine used to make beer. So I was just kind of curious, as this place had a few of their own locally brewed beers. On the other hand, it had a reputation as kind of a hipster bar, not the kind of place people go to because they enjoy the food and the atmosphere. The kind of place people go to because they like to talk about how they go there. I always figured it was kind of expensive, and people that talk about how they like to go there also are trying to signal some kind of social class or economic hierarchy. I've never been a high class type of guy. I'm more of a street food, drink cheap whiskey from a hidden bottle on a park bench kind of guy. But I wanted to go there just to taste the kind of beers they had. It was more of a scientific or chemistry-based curiosity. So I'm up at the bar, and just as I suspected, the place was packed with hipsters. This is definitely not the place to go if you want to get hammered or pick up sleazy women. This is a place you go to and take your time enjoying your social and economic exclusivity. But at the bar, I was sitting next to a woman who was not only attractive but single. In my imagination, I imagined any kind of attractive woman in a bar like this would be surrounded by a group of guys trying to impress her with their microbrew knowledge and vocabulary. But she didn't seem to be at all interested in talking about beer. I told her why I was there and that I was curious about her opinion. She said she just came into this place because she was in a kind of a place herself she'd least likely to find herself. And since she wanted to get away from her normal life for an hour or two, this seemed to do the trick. I asked what she did, and she told me without any hesitation or embarrassment or shame that she was a sex worker. She didn't even augment her voice tone or energy when she said it. I'd figured I'd just roll with it, and so I asked her a few follow-up questions. She said she works most of the time as a stripper, but most of her money comes from escorting from very high-class and lucrative clients. Then she told me about some dreams she had that kind of put her in this weird state of mind that made her wonder what kinds of things were important and what weren't, and how to best try to understand what's important and what might not be. She said the dreams started when she was wandering the hallway of her elementary school. She felt like she was in her adult body, but at her old school, there was nobody else there. She had a feeling she was late and she had to hurry up and get somewhere, but she wasn't quite sure where she was supposed to be. Then she realized she was supposed to bring something, and that something was in her locker, but she couldn't remember where her locker was, and she was worried that when or if she found her locker, she wouldn't remember the combination. She had 3 levels of anxiety kind of right there in the back of her mind, not quite strong enough to be able to define, but not quite weak enough to be able to ignore, like they don't serve any other purpose except to cause grief. Suddenly she was sitting in a classroom, but she was alone. Then the teacher came in. It was somebody she recognized, but she couldn't remember where she recognized this guy from. She felt that this guy was comfortable. This guy was supposed to be here. This guy had a familiar voice and a familiar message, as if these words were coming from inside your own mind. She didn't know when he started speaking. You are here for a reason, because you are listening to my voice now. You are in the very beginning stages of understanding this. You are in a place in your life that is, from some perspectives, better than before, but not nearly as good as it could be. But you don't know which parts of your life are actually your choice, and which parts are because you just kind of went with the flow. This is your potential future if you want, or you can choose another future. Your other future can be filled with magnificent success and accomplishment, extreme financial gains, powerful advances in your social circle, extraordinary intellectual achievements, but only if you actively seek those things. If you seek them, you will find them, but you must actively seek them. You cannot expect them to come to you or even be easy. They will take risk, but you must trust that you will be successful. You must trust that if you keep pushing forward, you will discover your truth. But if you take the easy way, if you decide to make decisions only because they are safe and easy, then your future is unknown. Next thing she knew, she was walking down the hallway, but as a little kid and surrounded by all her friends she remembers from elementary school. She said it felt really good, really familiar, really safe, really comfortable. But then she woke up, and as she woke up, she left the comfortable dream world and slowly realized her life. That sad feeling of leaving a perfect situation behind and realizing that you are in a life filled with anxiety and uncomfortable social situations and uncertainty. She said that the one thing she is really good at is making others feel completely comfortable, to make others feel very natural around her. That's why she gets paid so much as an escort. She doesn't even need to have sex with her clients. She has the ability to make her clients' business associates actually believe they are an honest couple, that it's a genuine relationship based on mutual attraction and respect. Of course, the client knows she's being paid, but his associates think it's a natural relationship despite the obvious age difference. The problem, of course, is that she can't get very much word-of-mouth advertising from her clients, and she can't really advertise that or else she'll ruin her income stream. But despite how much she makes from these occasional dates with this handful of wealthy clients, the income is not consistent, so she has to supplement it at the strip club. I wanted to give her advice to tell her that with that kind of skill of being able to make people feel comfortable and relaxed and natural, she would have no problems finding a decent income, especially with her level of intelligence, social confidence, and articulation. But I kept my advice to myself as she didn't seem to be in need of advice. I guess she just needed somebody to bounce her ideas off. Sometimes when you listen to yourself tell somebody else what you already know is true, it's just another way to verify what you are already planning. I ended up getting a sampler platter kind of thing, 6-ounce glasses of different microbrews. They were pretty tasty and I'm glad I went, but I don't think I'll go back there now that I've had this experience. I guess wine tasting and microbrew drinking are a couple of legitimate hobbies, but they aren't hobbies I think I'll be picking up anytime soon. I'll stick with street food and brown bag whiskey drinking. It suits me better, I think.